enthusiast, someone who is a lawyer, but also very interested in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And we are talking cryptocurrency. Did you know that according to Barry, cryptocurrency is a better store of value than our local currency? And definitely we're going to learn more about why he thinks like that. Mr. Barry, let's talk a little bit more about the fact that you think cryptocurrency is a better store of value. Aren't you defying what our ancestors actually put in place as the store of value? We know a currency with the signature of the governor is what stores value. Why do you think crypto is a better store of value then?
Okay, so to answer that question, I would use Bitcoin in particular to answer you. So Bitcoin has interesting features about it that you may not, some people may not have heard about. But Bitcoin has specific circulation.
Yeah.
Bitcoin can only have, we can only have 21 million Bitcoins ever in circulation. That means that there is no person who is going to at any one time say print or mint or mine more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Which is not the case with the traditional currency or with our money, which we usually call fiat.
Yeah.
So fiat money or our currency can be manipulated by the authorities at any time. We can have massive printing, we can have massive circulation. No one in this country, no, probably maybe the governor, or who hasn't been replaced yet, but no one could give you exactly how much is in circulation in this economy. But I can tell you for a fact that I know how many Bitcoins are in circulation. Because there is a systematic way of getting new Bitcoin, and there is a cap to how many Bitcoins can ever be mined. So that is one advantage that Bitcoin has over traditional finance or traditional currency.
Don't we need more money than 21 million US dollars, if I'm not mistaken?
It's 21 million Bitcoins. So the interesting 21 million Bitcoins is the maximum circulation cap that we have for Bitcoin. Right now we have 19 million still being mined. 19 million is in circulation, the remaining is still being mined. So the advantage that we have over traditional currency is that we know for a fact that we won't have more than 21 million Bitcoin in circulation ever. But whatever amount we have in circulation right now can be increased at any time, as long as the governor and whoever they authorize that can print more money. So the moment they print more money, you understand what drives inflation. Different factors drive inflation, starting from circulation, how money is being circulated, and disruption of supply chains and all that. But specifically for currency manipulation, that dilutes money as a store of value. But for Bitcoin, now, even when
that's why our money loses value.
Exactly.
Because people
money
can
loses
print whenever
value.
they feel
Yes,
they
that
have
is
to
true.
print.
So there is no, we can't maintain the kind of scarcity and demand for the money, because anytime money is increased in circulation, so the scarcity is diluted, everyone gets money at some point, prices are higher because someone has to earn a little bit more on the different commodity. Now with Bitcoin, when we have 21 million Bitcoins in circulation, it means that we cannot have that kind of figure manipulated. Ever, even in 100 years, Bitcoin will only have 21 million Bitcoins. Now, you asked me something about if we need more than that. Bitcoin is divisible, meaning you and I don't have to own a full Bitcoin for us to be able to invest or to transact. Bitcoin is divisible in a way that I can have the smallest denomination of Bitcoin, which is known as a sat or Satoshi. The smallest denomination of Bitcoin, the unit is a Satoshi, which is commonly known as a sat. So I can have sats. If I'm going to value how much I need to pay for a loaf of bread, I want to pay 1 Bitcoin at any time, because right now 1 Bitcoin is over 19,000 US dollars. So it has smaller denominations, like how when we have a 50,000 as the largest note here, we have 1,000 or 200 shillings coins. So Bitcoin has smaller denominations, which are known as sats. So people will start valuing their items in sats. How many sats do I have to pay for this commodity.
Okay.
You don't have to say, well, if you want to say it in Bitcoin, you will say, how many Bitcoin do I have to pay? And they'll tell you 0.00001
Yes.
to pay for this. Because one Bitcoin is expensive for over 90% of the world.
Yeah.
So when we understand that Bitcoin is divisible to a way that we can own one sat, two sats, it will make it easier to transact, to make it easier for people to invest. The concern has always been, I can't afford Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's so expensive, expensive because the highest price we've had for Bitcoin was around 68. 67, 68. That is so big. That is so expensive.
Yeah.
67,000 US dollars.
That should be.
It's over, I think, at the time it was over 270 something million.
One coin.
One coin. Yeah. One Bitcoin. So we need to let people understand that Bitcoin is divisible in a way that you can hold the smallest denomination. I have people I know that keep stacking up sats per day as a way to get a full Bitcoin or increase the investment in Bitcoin, because they understand that they cannot wholesomely get one Bitcoin at a go. So what they do, they stack up sats, because that means you can buy the equivalent of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 shillings in Bitcoin. Now, when you understand that, you won't lose your mind trying to get one Bitcoin at a go, because then it becomes so expensive.
Yeah.
But what I was going to tell you about what makes Bitcoin a good store of value in comparison with traditional currency, the fiat money we have right now, is that when you have a particular circulation cap that cannot be manipulated, it means that there will be a point when demand increases and supply doesn't increase at the same rate. Now, when demand increases and the supply doesn't increase at the same rate, it means that the prices will be driven higher. So Bitcoin, if you ask me, in projection, has not lived up to its even half potential in valuation. What we see right now, people saying it's the most expensive, in a few years it's going to be much more than that. Well, this is not financial advice, but if you look at the fundamentals and the utility that Bitcoin has, it's going to be much bigger than that. So when you look at that and you look at how the demand is moving in comparison with the rate of adoption in the countries, because right now you'll be shocked to find that we have only less than 10% adoption globally of cryptocurrencies. If less than 10% adoption globally can drive prices up to 68,000 US dollars per coin, how much can 30% adoption globally get that price to?
Yeah, crazy.
So it would be insane, really. And the rate of adoption is increasing over time. We are getting to, because right now, countries like Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, and other East African countries, they're having an increased rate of adoption, mostly third world countries, because they are the most unbanked, they are the most countries facing banking challenges, financial literacy, and all those issues that relate to money transfers and all that. So adoption is fast-paced right now. It's going to increase, meaning in the long run, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency becomes a more valuable and stable store of value compared to fiat. I can't say for sure how much 10,000 is going to be worth in the next few years. If it will still buy you the same things can buy you right now, I can't confirm that.
The other thing, like you're saying, the fiat currency is very volatile, it has issues and so on. But when you're evaluating cryptocurrency, you're using US dollars. We evaluated crypto coin at 20,000 US dollars. Ethereum coins are evaluated, and mainly, I don't know if there are other currencies as well, but mainly they are evaluated on US dollars.
Yes.
Do you think this is still some kind of dependency on the fiat currency?
Well, right now, cryptocurrency, or even Bitcoin in particular, they are viewed in terms of fiat.
Yes.
We are still looking at how much is Bitcoin worth in US dollars, or even in Ugandan shillings. Now, that is because it's still new to very many people. Because one thing is that one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. Whether one Bitcoin today is 68,000 or tomorrow it is 20,000, one Bitcoin will be one Bitcoin. So we're going to get to a level where we depeg the valuation of cryptocurrencies
On the coins themselves.
Yes, on the coins themselves. We're going to depeg from traditional finance or traditional currencies to understand the value. So, but it's a gradual system. We cannot right now tell people one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. They want to know how much am I converting this. So what we're having right now,
it's depending on the US dollar.
yes, it doesn't mean it's dependent on the US dollar. It means that people are trying to understand the conversion. They're trying to understand the valuation still in fiat terms.
Yeah.
But when the adoption gets to a level where people understand the use cases of this technology, they understand that we can transact in Bitcoin itself. We don't have to convert to fiat first.
Yeah.
Then we shall have one Bitcoin equivalent to one Bitcoin. We won't say Bitcoin has fallen from 60,000, now it's at 20,000.
Yeah.
So it's a gradual, systematic way of getting there.
Now, let me ask also, since you're saying now we don't entirely depend on the fiat currency, how does one access the Bitcoin? I have my 200 million, I have my 10,000, I want to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Do I still have to transact from this fiat currency? Or I have to go somewhere where I do a job and they pay in Bitcoin so I can be able to actually get access to some of these coins?
Okay. People use different ways to get Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in their wallets. So before the Bank of Uganda issued a statement to national payment system licensee holders, barring them from processing crypto-related transactions, people were using mobile money to transfer money directly from their mobile money to their crypto exchange wallets.
So we're going to talk about the wallet a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, Bank of Uganda said, hold on, whoever has a license from the national payment systems should not go ahead to process such transactions. And some people misconstrued that to amount to Bank of Uganda or Uganda banning cryptocurrency, which was not the case. They only said whoever holds a license from the national payment systems should hold on as we study and understand how the transactions happen. We haven't been authorized yet.
Is it the mobile money agents?
Yes, mobile money, the fintechs that process transactions. Those are the people who hold the national payment systems. So the license. So those persons have been put on hold to process such transactions. But there are other alternatives.
Does that include banks as well?
No.
No, not
Yes.
banks. Okay.
Yes. So right now, there are other alternatives people are using to get their money transferred to their wallets or different platforms they use to buy and invest in cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, when it was rolled out, it was well known for peer-to-peer transactions. Meaning that peer-to-peer transaction means that it's between you and I. No central person, no third party.
We agree.
We agree, yes, I want this, I give you this, and our transaction is done. So meaning that initially the way it was set up, we didn't even need mobile money to be able to transact. So it was meant to be you and I. If I say I have one Bitcoin, I need Ugandan shillings, I will approach you, you give me Ugandan shillings, I give you Bitcoin. So that is the kind of transfer that cannot be regulated because it's peer-to-peer. We don't need any third party or any central authority to authorize that kind of transaction. So peer-to-peer model is still available. People are transacting on a personal-to-personal basis. But also they're using bank transfers to get money to their different wallets. If you have a Visa card, you can easily transact from the comfort of your living room or bedroom or wherever you are. You get money to your wallet and you buy Bitcoin. So things are changing.
So it's not peer-to-peer. What is it now? What is it?
It's still peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is happening.
Yes. Okay.
And now we have another added option, which is Visa mode of payment to deposit your money on different wallets.
Card.
You use your Visa code on the card, then the CVV code as well, and then you insert how much you want to deposit, quick transaction, yes, and your money goes to your wallet. Then you transact. It will need a whole session to discuss how do you set up a wallet, which wallet do you use for what is distinguishable between a custodial wallet and a centralized wallet. So it's kind of lengthy. We may need a whole session for that.
And I wanted to move quickly because our time is fast spent, but I didn't want you to leave before telling us what crypto can do in Uganda. And especially, thank you very much for mentioning that the suspension of national payment system licensed entities for transacting cryptocurrency, because that created a lot of turmoil. And there's a way it trended, you know. Bank of Uganda has banned crypto in Uganda. Bank of Uganda has banned crypto in Uganda.
I personally received messages from my friends telling me, your thing is done, your crypto thing is done, it's now illegal.
So now, what can crypto do at the moment within the regulated, space, so that I don't break the law, but I can still use my crypto, I can still afford to get my crypto and do something. What can I do with it?
Okay, so now, what crypto can do in this country is largely hinged on the legal framework that we look forward to.
Okay.
The moment the legislative body and other authorities that oversee financial systems and transactions decide that we're going to have cryptocurrency legalized in this country, that's when we can see the maximum full potential of cryptocurrency. Because now we're still grappling with the definition of, is cryptocurrency or Bitcoin itself a security? Is it a commodity?
Yes.
If you look at the definition of a security in the Capital Markets Act, do we say Bitcoin is a security? To say then it will be regulated by Capital Markets Authority, or does it fall under a different entity? So the moment we have the legalities streamlined, then we can see the maximum potential of cryptocurrency. And how? We have some concerns that we have in this country in transactions. We have very high charges on transactions for different things. Well, it is convenient, mobile money is convenient, other payment systems are convenient, but they are costly. Now, one thing that has made Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and a technology very popular is that there is limited spending on transactional charges. And this is because it is not centralized. There is no one single person who's issuing out cryptocurrencies that he wants to earn a profit from your transactions. No. So when you eliminate a central system, because cryptocurrencies are decentralized, you eliminate a central system, it means that we're going to have reduced charges on transactions. That is going to be very significant, especially for people who do cross-border transactions and remittances. You're going to spend up to 0.001% on each transaction, which is not the case with the current available avenues to transact. So I have a friend who was recently transacting, sending money to the US, and he was charged over almost $100 to send about $1,500 for US. So you can see that the kind of ratio to how much you're spending in comparison to how much you're sending is very significant. You can hardly send the exact amount if you don't have almost 10% of it ready to be spent in transactional charges. So those are some of the things that we have to redress using this technology. And the innovations are coming up, but they are not at a very high rate because we still have a vacuum in the law. So people want to understand, because they always reach out and ask, well, I want to set up a crypto-based entity in the country, but what does the law say? And then you tell them you don't have anything very particular on this, but this is what you can do for now. They say no. Until then, let me hold on, because I don't want to risk and then get in, then a few months later they crack us down and they say, now we don't agree with this. And
is that different from Kenya? Is there a difference? Because we have 6 million Kenyans, here we have about 2 million. Is that why we have more numbers in Kenya?
Well, Kenya also doesn't have a comprehensive legal framework, but they have some guidelines. They have regulatory guidelines and policies they use that are a bit conducive, because Kenyan systems, or the equivalent of Bank of Uganda, the Bank of Kenya hasn't issued a statement saying they don't allow national payment licensee systems to process such transactions. So they have a bit more conducive environment, ecosystem to allow that adoption. But also, Kenya is a bit more shrewd in adoption. They are more aware about the technologies, and that goes to spread of information. Because when you look at how many people know about cryptocurrency, it also goes back to at what point do we have internet penetration, how many people use the internet, and how available is this information. So Kenya has more crypto-based players than Uganda. So what we're trying to do here,
They have crypto exchanges.
yes, they have local. We have yes,
Yellow
we do.
Card?
We have Yellow Card. We have Binusu. You must have heard about Binusu.
Yes, Binusu.
It's a local crypto exchange that people should check out. It's very interesting. We have Muda Exchange. So we have different entities coming up here, but they are still very few. Meaning this space has so much potential to be exploited in the long run. So
I like the optimistic point of view.
Yes. Because when you look at the prospects, because their numbers are increasing per year. So meaning that there is so much. Now imagine right now we have 2 million people using cryptocurrency in the country. The country of about 45 million people.
That's a
now,
lot of...
the numbers are going to increase up to 10, up to 15 million, up to 20. The players we have in the market right now are not enough to serve all those entities, all those players, all those potential customers. So we're going to need more innovations in the crypto space, and that is what's going to drive adoption and also change and revolutionize transactions and payments as we know them in the country here. So cryptocurrency has so much to revolutionize in this country, but most importantly in terms of payments and investment. So the only way we can get to that point is if people pick interest in first learning, look out for information. So I'm part of a team with Skill Haven, a setup I've co-founded, where we've made it our sole role and responsibility to put out information, educative information. And we have an upcoming nationwide campaign where we're going to be moving in different parts of the country, trying to make sure people get to know about this technology. What is it about? What are the misconceptions? We have to demystify the myth. So we've taken it as our responsibility to sanitize the space and create a harmonious environment where people understand how the technology works. So before you invest in any crypto entity, ask a few questions about how do I deposit my money there? Why do you say you have guaranteed rate of investment, yet cryptocurrency is known to be volatile? Today it's 20,000, tomorrow it's 17,000. For you, how do you guarantee that kind of return on investment? So those are a few red flags that you may have to look out for when someone tells you I'm going to give you 20% return on investment per day. It's not the same cryptocurrency that I know about. But yes, that so far has fallen by 50% since the beginning of the year. So how do you guarantee that kind of return? And then you ask them, what blockchain do you use? And then you see people start to stammer. They can't answer a few questions there. So we have to make sure that people get to understand the technology, they get to understand how they can safeguard themselves, and that is in relation to consumer protection. But most importantly, we look forward to a comprehensive regulation, both as a policy and as a law, to make sure that they safeguard the crypto end users, but also they don't jeopardize the beauty of the technology. There's usually a concern about how do you protect the consumers without infringing on the technology itself. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. And it has been the discussion in different economies like the US and the UK. How do we make sure that we protect the people, we safeguard their privacy, but also while ensuring that the technology thrives? So we look forward to having that kind of conversation, really. And that's one thing that is going to drive adoption, that is going to make sure that we live, the cryptocurrency and blockchain live up to their maximum potential.
I wish we had more time, really, but our time is fast spent. Mr. Barry, as we wind up, maybe you can just share a little bit about the contracts and your handles and where they can find Safe Haven. Is it
Skill Haven?
Skill Haven.
Yeah.
And definitely we wind up.
Okay. My Twitter handle is Barry Bless4. The name there is Barry Ainomgisha. That's what I use on Twitter. Skill Haven is Skill Haven Africa on Twitter. You can check it out. We are currently located in Chisasi on Bahai Road. That's where our offices are. And that's basically it. We offer different services. We do corporate advisory for companies that intend to come into the Ugandan space in blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So we advise them on how to penetrate the market, how to expand, how to scale, and other different modalities. We also do research, crypto and blockchain-based research, market research, consumer research, and other different kinds of research that our clients may be interested in. So we also do education, most importantly. We do education, we run different sessions, we run physical events where we disseminate information, accurate and authentic information about cryptocurrency and blockchain. People usually ask, okay, can you invest for me? No, we don't. We don't take money from the public to invest on their behalf. That means we don't do portfolio management for people. We do advisory and education and then research. That is our area of specialization. So that is basically it. And from the legal perspective, we also handle the legalities because I'm the legal advisor at Skill Haven. I also serve as a legal advisor on the committee of the Blockchain Association of Uganda. So that's basically it.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. That was Mr. Barry Ainomgisha, and we have been talking crypto. I think he's supposed to come back for some deeper, analysis, and of course get us a little bit more information, because as he has already mentioned, lack of information, lack of knowledge is the key to failure of these currencies here in Africa and in East Africa in particular. Thank you very much for staying tuned on Smart24 TV. That's it from us here as Financial Markets. Coming up is UG Tukole with Mr. Fred Makuya and other business programs. We are Smart24 and we drive your business. Bye for now.